All right, it looks like we are live, I believe.
I think so. We finally made it. Sorry about the hold up, everyone. This is our very first hangout, so we're getting the kinks worked out with all of you live.
And of course, it looks like a lot of you have already found it, but you can hit that Q&A button on the left of your screen if you have any questions. So I guess I'm going to share my screen while we get all started so you can see and
Yeah,
follow along.
absolutely. Welcome to our hangout, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for joining us on our inaugural hangout. We wanted to kind of expand the format in which we help you guys with Mimi and share Mimi love and just talk about Mimi. So we're trying this one out, and you guys let us know what you think of it and how you like it. And today we're going to start with the dashboard. That sort of seemed like it made a lot of sense since that's your Mimi homepage. That's where you get to right when you log in. And so we're going to just kind of hang out with the dashboard too. So we're going to talk about a few cool things that you can do on the dashboard. You can do with your promotions and all that. I'm Mira, and Becca's on the other line, and let's get started.
All right, so this is your Mimi dashboard, and this is the first thing that you see when you start your account. And when you first start, this whole thing will be empty. And once you start composing your email newsletters, your promotions, they'll start showing up on this page here. And you'll see this account, at the moment, we already have a bunch of promotions that were already made and sent. And each promotion is listed here along this right-hand sidebar. And you can see that every time you make a whole bunch of promotions, they'll be listed on a few different pages. So you can scroll through and organize them as you like. Now you see I've already created a couple of promotion groups here. This comes in really handy if your sidebar is full of a lot of promotions and it might make it a bit confusing to organize everything. So we've got a solution for that. And if you want to organize, for example, promotions that you sent in a certain month, we've got one for June sends and one for July. So let's make one for May. Just for example, if these promotions, all three of them were sent in May, we could just drag one on top of the other to start a new promotion group, and we'll name it May Sends, for example. And once you create that group, you can drag other promotions into it. So if this one was sent in May, we can drag it into May Sends, and we'll see it listed there. Now you'll also notice there are some checkboxes along the side of the promotions in this sidebar. If you've sent a bunch of promotions and you want to see how well they performed, you know, if they got sent to everybody, if people opened it a bunch, you can just click that checkbox on the right and click the other promotion that you want to compare it to. And this compare button will appear on the top of the dashboard here. And once you click that compare button, you can see which promotion performed better. You'll see this like percentage over here of the performance. So, and then the stats button down here will show you the more specific stats for each send. So exactly how many views, bounces, clicks, things like that.
Yeah, and another cool thing about those folders, those groups that Becca's talking about, is that if you search using that search bar on the right side, you can put in any keyword, any text you want, and it'll search the titles of these promotions. But if you search for something that is in a group, it'll actually show you the whole group and then just show you how many in that group matches that search. So it's another kind of little nuance for your folders that you can use, and you know, just as a way to like sort of clean up your dashboard and have like a more organized looking organized looking dashboard. I just wanted to throw that in. You can continue
cool.
Now.
Thanks, Mara. And something else that's really useful is if you want to share your newsletter on social media or send it to people who aren't on your email list, you can totally do that too. Just click this share button here, and you'll see the different options for Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn. So whenever you click one of those buttons, you'll be able to share your promotion on your social media sites. And that's a great way to encourage people to sign up for your newsletter. If they see it on Twitter and think, gee, I want to make sure I don't miss any of these, then they'll be more encouraged to sign up and receive it in their inbox.
Yeah, and we've just added that download as a PDF edition, which you can see right below the LinkedIn, which is very cool. So it's just built in. You can just click that PDF, and then you get a download of the actual email as a PDF file. And it's a real quick way. You don't have to go through any other third-party online service or anything like that.
Yep, and it's awesome if you have especially subscribers who are more used to a snail mail sort of way of sending. So if people want to get it in their actual mailbox, then you can print the PDF and send it to them that way too. Something else you're probably noticing here is the stats totals. The stats totals here will combine every single time you sent that particular newsletter. It'll combine all of those stats here on the main page. So that gives you kind of an overview of how well that newsletter does in general. But if you wanted to see some more specific numbers about your individual sends for that newsletter, you would click the stats button here. And once you do that, you'll see the most recent send on this main page. And you can scroll down to the left and click See All Sends to compare each individual send of that newsletter.
Right. So just the important thing to remember when you're looking at your actual dashboard is that stats information that's displayed there is the total. So it's every time you've sent that promotion all summarized into one display that's about that promotion. And so that's what displays on your dashboard.
Now, if you plan on sending the same thing a few different times but don't want those stats to be combined, or if you want to make a copy and send a copy that looks a little bit different to a different audience, you can totally do that. You'll just click this little sheep icon here, and that's actually a clone button. And when you click the clone button, you can choose to send it to your own account, or if you've got a multi-user account, you can send it to one of them. But we'll do our own account for now.
Also, just as a side note, if you have the drip campaigns enabled, which we would love to do another Hangout about drip campaigns, but that's a separate item. If you have drip campaigns, you can actually clone directly to a drip campaign as well, which is cool.
Definitely. And then once you do that, you'll see that we have our exact copy made here, and it's got a little number 1 on the end of it. So every time you clone, maybe we'll add a number to the end of it just so you can differentiate between the original and the copy. But now you've got a totally fresh copy that hasn't been sent to anybody yet, and you'll see the original is down here intact. So you can send the copy, you can change the title, you can change the content of it, and send it to a whole new list. And the sends for this copy won't be combined with the original down here.
Yeah. Another way that you can send, differently than just hitting that send button is your scheduling button, which is that little clock. And if you click on there, you can set any time in the future that you want that promotion to send. So it, you don't have to send it right now. You can send it tomorrow at noon, just like Becca's typing in. And there are actually 3 whole steps to scheduling a promotion, and it's important that you make sure that you've looked at all 3 of them. So the first one is when, which makes sense. So we're going to say tomorrow at noon, which is great. And then you click that orange continue button, and then you have your who. This is your recipients. So you just select your lists. You can send it to everybody. You can send it to just individual people if maybe it's a test, just by typing them in at the top. You can include lists. You can exclude lists, just like normal when you're sending. And then you hit continue again, and you get to the final 3rd step, which is your mailing details. And that's who it's from, so what your from address shows up as, what the subject line is, and then what kind of share options you want to include on that email. But the email won't actually be scheduled successfully until you've done all 3 of those steps, and then you get that orange schedule button and you hit it. And the way that you can tell, and then of course you get one last chance to check all of those details just to make sure that everything looks right. And then you hit looks good, schedule it, and you're sent back to your dashboard. Now there's one last check, which is that little schedule button should turn red. And so right from your dashboard, you can tell what promotions have been scheduled, which ones haven't, and it's just a nice double check to make sure that you got it, that you scheduled it successfully.
And if you schedule a lot of mailings, if you're the kind of person who likes to set them all up one day and have them all send out at different dates, we've got a handy scheduled window here too that will show all of your upcoming scheduled mailings in one little window. And you can also edit them and delete them accordingly if you need to. So if you're like me and you've got a whole bunch of different promotions and some of them are scheduled and some of them aren't, this little button here is the best way to keep track of all of them in one window.
Yeah.
And I think that's just about it for the dashboard, unless you have anything else, Mira, you want to talk about.
No, I think that was the things that we thought were the coolest about the Mad Mimi dashboard. But if anybody has any questions, they can pop them over. I just want to also again apologize for starting late. So I'm so sorry if anybody missed this. But it's always available on our YouTube channel. So we'll send it out, and you guys can have an after-the-fact watch if you need. And always you can email us, or you can pop into our live chat. We're here to help you with absolutely anything that you need. And let us know what you think about hanging out.
All right, thanks a lot, you guys. Have an awesome day. Peace out. Bye.